Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining this series of our Fireside Chat from Stater. My name is Raluca, and I'm social media and community manager at Stater. And today is my biggest pleasure to have as guest Maliha Abidi from Women Rise NFT. Our discussion today will be divided in two parts. First, we're gonna keep it a little more structured. I will be asking Maliha questions regarding her are curious about something in particular. All right, enough introductions. Let's get this started. Thank you, Maliha, so much for joining me today. How are you? How's everything going?
Hi, I'm so excited to be talking to you today. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm doing really well today. How are you?
That's great. Well, I've been waiting for this talk, and I'm so excited that we finally got the chance to do it. So let's get it started. I have a set of questions for you. Let's get it going. What do you say? Maliha, are you with us?
I was on mute. I hate this. Okay, sorry about that.
That's fine.
You would think that I know how to use Twitter now, but I don't.
Well, that's
But yeah,
okay.
let's do it. Let's
I
do it.
mean, technology still surprises us. It's fine. All right. So, first question. Could you tell us in a little bit of detail what Women Rise NFT is?
Yeah, for sure. So Women Rise NFT is a collection of 10,000 NFTs that are celebrating and representing female artists, activists, scientists, coders, and more. But it's honestly way more than that. It's not just like an NFT project. It's a it's basically like a project that's talking about activism, it's talking about women's rights, it's focused on girls' education. And thankfully, we have cultivated a beautiful community that is, on the same page as we are. So we're very proud of that. And yeah, so that's what Women Rise is all about.
You should be very proud of it. Honestly, it's an amazing idea. Could you tell me who came up with the idea of this awesome project?
Um, so the idea for Women Rise was mine.
Okay.
And then I was just like talking to my husband about it, Eski, who's the project director, and he's just like my biggest cheerleader.
That's great.
Like it honestly doesn't matter. It could be like literally as something as simple as like me cooking a dish, or like I'm working on a project. He would just cheer me on for everything. So
Oh,
he's just like that sort of a, yeah, he's just like a lovely human like that. But that's basically like how, like, we started to talk about it. I shared it with him, and then I was like, so how does one even like create a project like that? So that's how he became like a project director for Women Rise. And
okay.
like me and him, we started to like um talk about like behind the scenes, how things will be, all of that jazz, and then we obviously knew like you developer having a developer is a huge part of it. So we brought on my cousin. So it was a very family run business.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then we brought in my cousin who's a developer on the project. And then slowly, when we connected with other people in the space, we have like a community manager now, and we have an advisor, and then we just brought on a new team member that we will be announcing later this week. Well, this week. And yeah, so we are just like, really excited about our growing team and our growing community. But that's how it started.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So when have you started exactly? And what was your first NFT? Because first are like your first love. You never forget it. What was your first NFT? The first one that you put out there?
So my first NFT, honestly, well, firstly, the first love thing, I think it's just it's sort of like bullshit. I don't even remember who my first love was. So if I'm being very honest. But yeah, in terms of NFTs, you don't forget your first NFT for sure. So are you talking about like the first NFT that I minted or
Yeah,
first
yeah.
NFT
The
like
the first one that you
so
mentioned.
that I bought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was like a project that I literally I just like didn't know about NFTs at all, and I didn't know like what it was, or like I just saw the project, I liked the artwork, and I was like, "Oh, okay, let me try and um kind of see how do you mint one." So
Okay.
I just yeah, so it didn't have like a lot of emotional value to me, but it was called Meeples. And I later transferred it to my husband. I was like, "Do you want it?" So yeah, for at that time, like it was that. But then I remember, like, I'm sort of like a collector as well in this space, a very small collector. So I'm very proud to say that all the pieces that I have in my wallet, they're by female artists, not on purpose. They're not like it wasn't a strategic thing that I did, like, oh, like just collecting from female artists, but those were the artworks that I'm most connected with. So yeah.
Okay, okay, that's cool. And how long did it take for your NFTs to come into the community's attention? Because obviously, all of your NFTs have very powerful and inspiring message behind them. How long did it take for the community to really understand the message that lies behind your NFTs? Was it a rough ride, or was it easy and you believe people wanted to have something like that?
The thing is that our community is like, they're very intelligent. Like, you would honestly you would look at this space and you'd think, okay, like, in a very superficial way and in a very like quick way, if you look at this community, you'd be like, oh, like a bunch of people, you know exchanging JPEGs.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard somebody say this as well, like, somebody who didn't understand NFTs at all. But the NFT community is very intelligent, and I'm very proud of the women rights community. They're very, very, like, compassionate, kind, intelligent people. Like, they actually do care about the cause that we're driving forward, and they're honestly, like, they care about it as well. Like, they are the reason we're moving forward. They are the reason, because of their support, we're able to, like, um sorry, we're able to do the things that we are able to do. Like, they're constantly talking about women rights on Twitter, in Discord. That obviously helps, like, that's the sort of support that keeps a project going, that keeps a project moving forward. Yeah, so it didn't take the community that long. I feel like they were craving something that they could resonate with, and I'm so happy that they are able to, like, find that. But then there are, other projects as well that, that they find connection with, and that's a beautiful thing in itself.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And I mean, I'm very happy to hear that there are kind people out there, so I'm just happy when I hear it from other people, because I for one am a firm believer that there are good people out there and smart people out there, but the more I hear it from other people, it just makes my heart grow bigger and bigger. So I'm really happy to hear this. um how do you remember what was the moment that you realized, okay, this is catching on, people are loving it, and my business, because it's a business, it's really starting to grow and get more attention? How did you feel? When did you realize this?
That's a really good question. I feel like the feeling of women rise in general, it hasn't sunk in for me yet, if I'm being honest. But if I'm talking about, like, okay, like, looking at sorry, looking at people appreciating the project, I think it happened way before launch, because we were already having, like, conversations. We were already having, like, conversations about girls' education, women's rights, all kinds of things. Like in our Discord, on our Twitter, we were talking about like various things that mattered in our society, because I personally think that NFTs are not just like social currency, or like NFTs are not just sort of like these things that I mean, NFTs are very powerful. Like they are a social currency, and they are like something that people keep as assets and exchange as assets, and that's like in itself is a it's a lovely thing. But I feel like if we keep pushing it the right way, it is a tool in our hand to, or like a vehicle in our, like that can drive social change, and um it can honestly like help people get to financial freedom, and just like all of these different things like that are life changing for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
which is why like inclusivity and making sure that we're sharing information actively with others about this space is very important.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us a little more about the collection. How many NFTs are minted and how can people get one?
Well, right now we're at 25%, which I am so excited about, because at 25% we are making our first donation to Malala Fund, and we're just about to make the announcement for it today. So we're at 25% at the moment, and if anybody wants to mint it, they can just go to our website, which is womenrise.art.
Okay, sounds good. How about the utility? What can people do with Women Rise NFTs?
Yeah, well, for now, like, there's like a lot that we don't know what's waiting for us in the metaverse. But for the things that we do know, Women Rise roadmap looks something like this. So we are supporting four different organizations, with part of the proceeds that are going towards these four organizations. One of them is Malala Fund, and the other three are the Girl Effect, the PAC Project, and Sola Afghanistan School. So all of them focused on girls' education and women's rights. One of the projects is not directly focused on girls' education, which is the PAD project. But if you think about it, it is because period poverty is one of the reasons why women and girls are not able to do daily tasks in many parts of the world, just because they don't have the right resources, and that includes like not being able to go to school. So it is. And then so we're doing that. Then we also have like a certain percentage, like we're giving away copies of my second book and some art prints to our early adopters.
Okay.
And another thing that we're really excited about is two clubs that we are going to be launching at 60%, and that's the Rising Women Club and the Activist Club. So the Activist Club is the most exciting one, because in the Activist Club, we're literally mentoring and guiding and supporting um, upcoming activists. Basically, like you would have an idea, but you don't know how to start your organization or how to campaign. So we're literally going to be like helping those activists make changes in their communities. So we're mobilizing activists so that they can mobilize their communities. And the biggest thing on the Women Rise plate is the fact that we're building the first school in the metaverse for 258 million children who are out of school,
Oh,
and
wow.
that includes us working on bridging the digital divide. It also includes, like um making sure that we're literally like, when we're talking about web3, we're not just talking about web3 in a very limited way. We're not just sort of saying that, hey, like we're early, uh we're we're early, but then we're leaving the rest of the world behind. So
Yeah.
yeah, and last thing is like, which is kind of like a business related thing. It's like when we launched the Women Rise merch store, all the NFTs that we use on the merch, the NFTs owner, they will get a part of the proceeds from the sales so they'll get royalty not just on the NFT itself, but on the um on the merch as well. So that's sort of like, you're getting a return on that investment as well.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. Sounds absolutely great. And let me just stop right here for a little bit and tell you honestly, I think you're extremely inspiring, and you're truly inspiring. That's all I had to say, and I'm gonna move on to my next question. What is, in your opinion, the impact that technology and NFTs in particular can bring in solving social problems?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for your kind words. But I mean, we have seen it in Web 2, the impact that social media or digital media in general has. Like, we have literally seen um, rules, laws around the world change. We have seen people held accountable because of social media. We have seen, from anywhere from like a racist person getting caught to, a president of some country, or like a revolution in some country taking place, and the entire world coming to support it, to us talking about climate change and driving change through social media and media in general, digital media in general. So this is the kind of things that we can drive because of social media, because of digital media, and Web3 is a huge part of that. Like, it's sort of like a continuation of it, but it's decentralized. That's the thing. But one of my worst fears is that, okay, you're talking about girls' education, you're talking about women's rights, but the information that you're sharing, is it getting to the right people? That's literally like my worst fear, and these are the questions that like I ask myself as well. And the only way you can kind of fix that is through increasing literacy when it comes to technology,
Yeah.
and um, when it comes to like just educating women and girls. And yeah, just that's where Women Rise comes in, and that's what we're trying to do. But we honestly cannot do this like alone, and that's where our community comes in.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So, what about your plans for the future? How do you see the project evolving in the long run?
The future holds great things. Um, One of the great things that I'm most excited about is, I mean, already for 2020, we haven't even crossed New Year, that line yet. Like, we still have two days of 2021 left. But I have honestly, like, my calendar, Aski's calendar, our team's calendar is booked till June, and it's insane to me.
Oh, yeah, it
So
is.
so great things are happening and waiting for us in 2022, as a project, as a team, as a community. But what I'm most excited about is a truly inclusive Web3 space. Like, in the past week, I have seen friends and some community members really win in this space, and I'm so proud of them for it. And I just want to see more of that, because when I see like one of the people that I saw enter this space along with me, and then, or maybe like a little bit after me as well, and then they're winning, like, that's just witnessing, like, their entire journey. And things happen really fast in this space, so it's just like a dose of dopamine.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's amazing, yeah.
That sounds great. Um, I mean, I finished all the questions that I prepared for you. If there's anything else that you would like to add, or if there are people in the audience that have any questions for Maliha here and for her project, please just ask away. And Maliha, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Well, I want to ask you that, like, for anybody who doesn't maybe like know here what Stater is, can you like share a little bit about that, and also what are you most excited for in 2022?
Oh my God. Well, in what Stater is concerned, it's basically a borrowing and lending platform. You can borrow Ethereum by using your NFTs as the collateral, for example, and then you can lend and earn for providing liquidity on the marketplace. So this is what we do, and now we're developing our own game that's going to use NFTs, and we're in the middle of the creation of this game, and we're super excited. So that's the biggest thing for us coming up next year, and we're super excited.
I need to stop doing this. Like I honestly like I was talking and I was on mute. So sorry about that.
No worries.
And on a personal level, like what are you most excited about in NFT space or Web3 space in general? That sounds amazing, like in terms of Statter, but like on a personal level, I would love to know. What
On a
you're excited about.
personal level, well, honestly, I'm a bit new in learning about this world, but I was so fascinated, which is why I chose to get involved in a company and community that's in the middle of it, you know. And I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to talk to as much people as I can about it and learn as much as I can. And actually, you were one of the very first NFT artists that I came across. And I'm like, okay, because you know, in the beginning, I had no idea that NFTs can be used. I mean, I think I had an idea, but I wasn't very um, I wasn't sure that what can you do with an NFT, because I thought, okay, it's like a piece of art, you know, it's a painting but a digital one, and then what can I do with it? And then digging deeper, and I learned that you can actually do something for the world in a sense with them. I said, okay, this is amazing. I'm gonna dig deeper, and that's what I'm doing currently. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like slowly people are finding like the true potential. Well, firstly, we all are learning, so you're not alone in like, being new to the space. I feel like half the people I talk to every day is like they say the same thing, but also I can say the same thing, like I am quite new to the space.
Yeah.
And I don't think anytime soon I'll say, okay, now I know everything. Nobody can say that just because
Yeah,
there's
because
so much to
I'm,
learn.
I mean, this world is continuously changing, right, and developing all the time. And the only thing, the only way that we can get good at it is to understand that you can never know everything about it, and that it's a
Yeah,
process, and you have to be open to learning all the time, which is amazing. So I
for
have
sure.
a question from Rajiva. Let me add her. Can you hear us, Rajiva?
Hi, Maliha. This is Rajiva. I want to say that. Can you hear me?
Hi, Rajiva. Yes, we
Hi.
can
Yeah,
hear
hi.
Yeah.
you.
I want to say that Women Rise are my first NFTs that I've ever minted, and then I never stopped after that.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That's
And
so
just
wonderful to
you,
hear. Oh, sorry. I think.
I think
Oh, sorry. I think you're
we
getting wrong. Oh no, I can hear you. Okay, this is
yeah.
chaotic. Sorry about
Sorry,
that. I can
I
hear
got a phone
you.
call. A phone call from my mom. Sorry. Yeah, I just had to disconnect it. And then I never stop. And I think I did have some conversations with you about mending. I was really having a FOMO because I was in whitelisted, and I remember you telling me, "Don't worry, you'll have time. You'll have your own mint, and there will be a spot for you and all that." And I was just reading, and I'm like you. I've collected a lot of women NFTs. It's not just because I do want to do it, but I can really connect it to these kind of projects. I remember being in Discord channels of other projects, but I couldn't just not resonate with any of those Discord channels, so I had to leave. Um, and one more thing is, I was just reading and I saw you writing about school in the metaverse. And I'm an educator, and I would really love to contribute in whatever you plan on doing. So, love to listen about what is in store for for people and your supporters regarding how we could contribute towards the school and other projects. Thank you.
Well, firstly, thank you so much, Rajiva, for coming up and sharing about that. I'm so happy that Women Rise is your first NFT. We are like, we're so proud of this. That 40% of our community had never minted an NFT before, and Women Rise was their first NFT. That's just something that, it's like a badge of honor for us. So thank you for sharing that. And in terms of the school, so right now we're in a phase where we're like looking for partnerships, and we're doing like the behind the scenes stuff. But when it comes to like actually taking the school forward and building the school, taking the school forward, we won't be able to do that without the community. And that includes, like, having the educators from our community, having people who are actually, like, creating the school alongside us. So when we get to that stage, like, we are going to be including our entire community in it. I mean, we already have, incredible people like yourself, who are educators, who are interested in contributing. um and we also have, like, architects, and we have like designers, and we have like so many just badass, incredible, talented people that why would we not want to include you guys in it, right? And the truth is that we can't do it without you. So we are really excited to be just getting to that stage, but we're not there yet. Actually, the school was supposed to be a part of our roadmap 2.0, but because we don't have any patience and we don't know how to take it easy, we have started our work on it right now. And we are having conversations, looking for partnerships, and yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. But trust me, when we get to that stage, our community is going to be a huge part of it.
Thank you. And I would like to wish you and everyone a happy new year. And I'm really excited for what is in store in 2022 for all of us.
Thanks, Ajiva. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you so
joining.
much.
All right. Do we have any other questions someone else would like to enter? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna ask Maliha, I'm gonna ask you a question from somebody, and it goes like this: do you have any messages for an aspiring NFT creator?
um yeah, for sure. I feel like I want to say a few things to the creators who are entering this space, or who have been in this space for a while. Please don't compare yourself to other creators. It's very easy to do that. It's the nature of digital media. It doesn't just happen in the NFT space. This is very common, and it happens in social media as well. That was one of the biggest problems in, how do you say, in on Instagram. So I
Yeah.
know it's very difficult to like compare it. Like, you constantly do want to. You have this like feeling that you want to compare yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you shouldn't. It's very difficult, but like, just try to tell yourself that you're on a different journey that person is, and you have something that they don't have, and they have something that you don't have. So it's just, that's how life is in general. Like, you won't have everything that another person has, and they
Yeah.
won't have everything that you have. So I feel like that's one thing. I think creators do feel very discouraged by seeing other creators and comparing themselves, that, oh, like, that person, like, they would be happy, for that person, but still they would be feeling kind of like, oh, how come I haven't made a sale, or I haven't made that many sales. Like, I think it's very, like, part of human nature. So please don't, like, be kind to yourself. Don't do that. You're on your own, like, you're on your own sort of separate journey, and they're on their own journey. So that's one thing. Another thing is, like, um make sure that you're not allowing people to push you down. Like, there are a lot of people in this space who may, like, there are, firstly, majority of the people, they're very kind, and they're very, like, they're going to run to help you. They're very, very, like, I have come across such people all day long. But there are, like, some people, like, we have it in all spaces. Like, there are some people who see themselves as more established in this place, and they want to gatekeep. But the thing is, you cannot gatekeep in decentralized internet, or decentralized space. So you need to tell yourself that, and you shouldn't allow anybody to like kind of, just like, if you don't feel welcome in a community, go find another community. There are communities on every turn in this space. So if you're not, or make your own community. You don't
Yeah.
have to, be a part of any community if you don't feel like you fit in. You like, this is a space where everybody will fit in, whether they create something on their own or whether they find their own tribe. Like, and there's nothing wrong with either of them. Like, whether you find your own tribe or whether you create your own tribe, like, it really doesn't, like, there are no wrong answers. Which brings me to the next one, that there actually are no wrong answers, and there are no stupid questions. Or like, I have seen people say, oh, like, I'm really new to this space, so I have this silly question, I have this stupid question. Like,
Yeah.
don't talk to yourself up like this. We all are learning, we're all very new. And you can find a lot of good spaces and good communities where you will feel welcomed, and people will be very enthusiastic about helping you. And the people who don't, like, just make sure they're just, I don't know what's wrong with them, but they they're just like in it for the wrong reasons. But you will find like people who actually want to help you. So just make sure that feel confident in asking questions, because that's how you will learn. Um, and even for somebody like me who's been in this space for 3 months now, I have many questions every single day, and I make sure that I go to the friends that I have found in this space. And I mean, oh my god, like, I have this one friend, her name is Zoe, and she literally like sends me so much information every day, and I love her for that. Like,
I
she is
want to
just
be friends with her as well.
let me connect you to her. She's honestly like somebody who will literally like go out of her way to help people, and like just educate them about like everything. She gifted me her ENS mm, uh, what is it called, my name on ENS or something, my domain on ENS or something like that. But yeah, I didn't even know what it was, and then she took the time to like educate me about it. So
Oh
there are
wow.
like people like that in this space. So this is what I want to say to the creators, not just to the artists, not just to the developers, but we all are creators in this space, regardless of what your title is. And also be very very confident in yourself, because you're literally a pioneer in this space. Even if you entered this space an hour ago, you're a pioneer in this space. And make sure that once you have your foundation, you bring in somebody else as well, because I'm sure somebody brought you in. So yeah.
That's great. And we have MJ Ryle. All right, MJ Ryle, you have a question. Can you hear us?
Was that to me? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like a weird, there was a weird bit where like Maliha was talking and suddenly you were calling on me.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Maliha, I was very fortunate to be on one of your shows recently where you asked me a question that I actually want to ask back to you, if that's okay. Because I thought it was
Hi, MJ.
hi. I thought it was such a great question. You asked, what's your favorite part about Web3, and what is your number one thing that you'd like to see changed?
Thank you so much for that question, MJ. My favorite thing about Web3 is you. And no, but in all honesty, like, MJ is one of the best people I've met in this space. And she's actually like, yeah, I'm very proud to call her a friend. But something that I like love in the space is the amount of progress a human can make. And I don't mean this in terms of money, and I don't mean this in terms of like just building projects or selling your artwork or getting a job. I'm I mean it in a very like in a knowledge sort of a way. Like, I literally, when I entered Web3, I thought, or entered this space, I thought like my brain has turned into a sponge, and I was just so happy about the knowledge. Like, I was just learning so much every single day. I was, and I'll tell you like how dumb I was. So Women Rise is a 10,000, like it has 10,000 NFTs. When I was discussing this with my husband and my cousin, who's the developer and the project director, so I was like, oh guys, like I think we will be able to launch this in 20, like later 2022, because I need some time to draw all 10,000 of them. Like that's a lot of number. Like that's a huge number to be creating the art pieces. That's how naive I was when I entered this space. But like I always think about that time, and I think about like, oh my God, like how much knowledge I have gained by simply learning from other people in this space, by being in this space, and like just, oh, by the way, for anybody, like you don't actually draw 10,000, you create a bunch of assets and then the generator generates it. So yeah, that's how the collection is generated, like a generative collection. But that's like, I didn't know that at that time. So, you know, these are the kind of questions I had. But then I was able to learn a lot in a week. And then now, months later, I just have a completely different mindset. I have a completely different way of thinking about Web3. And so this is what I don't want a lot of people to miss out on. And something that I do want to change in this space is that people really need to think about this space as a space for all, and not take things so personally, what things are happening in this space. Like if you, for example, like I have seen people have bad experiences and they want to like leave this space, and I understand, because of the pandemic as well, and because of just like in general, like what you may be going through in your personal life, people do have like, you know, anxiety, they do have like, you know, they deal with like different sorts of things in their personal life as well. But please don't leave this space because of like whoever made you feel a certain way. You know, I do want, like you cannot change that one person who made you feel bad, but what you can change is like how you kind of think about things yourself. And like nobody has power over you in this space. This is what I mean by gatekeeping. Like there's nobody who can gatekeep in this space. So if you've had one bad experience, tomorrow you will be a part of different circle and they will be a part of different circle. This space is literally like space, you know, like how space is, like we learned in school, like spaces are always expanding. This space is like NFT space, Web3 space is expanding. Don't allow anybody to. So I want to encourage people to change that about themselves. Like nobody has power over you that they can you know, exit you from this space. Like this is, you are here to exist on your own terms, and you do that. um don't feel afraid to hold people accountable. If they don't see eye to eye, just move on from them. You know, you don't have to love everyone, you don't have to be friends with everyone, and vice versa. No, like not everybody needs to love you and needs to see eye to eye with everything that you're doing. But the least we can do is respect each other and kind of like exist in our own space and just do that. Like nobody can actually ask you to leave. This is not just their space, this is your space as well. So I just want to like, I've seen like people are really, I mean, we are humans, we're sensitive, I do understand that, but just kind of train yourself to be this confident that if you feel like leaving the space because somebody made you feel a certain way, just tell yourself, who are they to ask you to leave, or who are they to kind of like make you feel this way, you know? So that's something that I wanted to add.
All right, that sounds great. MJ Ryle, do you have another question for Maliha here?
No, she nailed it as usual. Thank you so much, Maliha.
She did.
No,
She
thank you
really
so much, MJ, for such a lovely question. Thank you. Always, it's so much fun talking to MJ every time. We text all the time, so
Okay.
we're pretending like this is the first time we're talking. We have already spoken like 5 times today.
Well, okay, then this was amazing, absolutely awesome. So thank you, Maliha, once again, and thank you to the other people that jumped in with their questions. We have reached the end of this series of Stater Fireside Chat. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Maliha. Have a great 2022. Let's nail it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for having me on as a speaker, and Rajiva and MJ for coming up and asking those wonderful questions. It's always so much fun connecting with the community. I do want to wish everyone a wonderful 2022, and let's make it the most inclusive year. Um, yeah, and let's show people in Web 2 and Web 1 how it's done in Web 3. And let's make it, yeah, super inclusive, where everybody feels welcomed. And yeah, thank you so much for this. This was a really fun chat.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone. Thank you.